We got Maycee Barber back here on the program. Is going to be making her UFC debut on November 10th at UFC Fight Night 139. Maycee, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Not as good as you, though. You're making your debut, but we got some news, obviously, in that you have a new opponent for this fight. You were supposed to be taking on Maia Stevenson. Now you were taking on an opponent by the name of Hannah Cifers. Just your reaction to finding out about this, and when did you find out about this?
My reaction was I'm not surprised. Maya never, as far as I know, signed the contract, and as far as I know, she also, didn't post anything. And if you get a fight, kind of, especially in the UFC, I would think that you'd be excited, and you'd post about it or something like that. So, to hear that she was out with an injury didn't really surprise me. I've kind of had to deal with that throughout my entire career so far. So. But the new opponent, I got her, I think it was like the beginning of this week. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So about 3 weeks out and I got an opponent change, which is fine for me. I've been in camp for 10, 12 weeks now. So just training, trying to get myself better, and whoever they put in front of me is going to be good.
But I'm sure you thought when you got to the UFC this wouldn't happen anymore in terms of, having opponents switch up and things like that, just because, in the UFC, they're usually, at least they found you an opponent. That was a given. It's the UFC.
You would think that, especially if you're in the UFC, you're supposed to fight, right? That's what you're there to do. So, and of course, I hope Maya's all right if she has an injury. But yeah, it wasn't like a shocker to me, but at the same time, I'm like, come on,
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Just have to fight. You're in the UFC for a reason. Yeah.
I agree. You mentioned, having lots of notice for being on this card. We've talked even before Contender Series, had you won the contract, this was the card you wanted on in Denver. It's close to home. You've been doing a lot of different training. I saw you at Rufus Sport, and I know you're at Factory X now. Where have you trained over the last bit since we last talked?
So I've been down at Factory X for, it's been I think it's been a good 6 weeks now. So I did I'm going to do a full 8 weeks there. So maybe 5 weeks.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been down with, Mark Montoya here at Factory X, and I'm actually living part-time in Denver right now. So, yeah, I had a camp switch, my coaches, we had some stuff that we had to change up and make some choices for, going towards what I want to go towards, and that's chasing a world title at the youngest age, and I need the right people to do it.
Well, Factory X is the premier training camp if you're in Colorado. Everyone knows in terms not just the coaching, but the level of training partners that you're going to get there as well. What was the connection there? How did you end up training there?
We've just been doing a lot of research, and I've been known to travel a lot, and some people like it, some people don't, but my family and my dad and I, we've been in the search for the best people in the world, people who are going to help me go to the highest level in the game. And I've trained at Team Alpha Male. I've trained at Rufus Sport. I've trained at with Matt Hume a little bit, and we were just trying to find what fits, and there's nothing wrong with any of them. It's just, the connection, the time that they can put in, and who has the right mindset. So we're still trying to figure out, how to do that and how we're going to go about doing that. But I found a special place at Factory X with Coach Mark. So I'm super happy, and I couldn't have found a better place, especially right now in where I'm at. And I see this being a good journey with him.
So it's safe to say this is your home gym, as they say, for this at this point going forward.
Yeah, for now, and I would like to do at least all of my camps, my full camp, fight camp, with Mark.
Okay.
It's a really good thing. So yeah.
So we talked about your new opponent off the top. How do you feel like you match up against her, or are you at that point in your career still where you're focused more on what you can bring to the table instead of your opponent?
Well, when we got the opponent switch, I watched the fight, her most recent fight against, I think it was Celine. Yeah, I haven't done too much in-depth looking, but we've all talked about it, and we all looked at her a little bit and decided that it was still a good matchup, But I like to let them take care of them being my team, my coaches. I like them to take care of that part and just tell me, hey, we got to watch out for this, we got to watch out for that. And then I'll look a little bit and I'll watch the fights and stuff, but I don't try to dwell on that. I try to fix all my holes and work on me all the time because of this reason, actually.
Right. No. Yeah. No, you have to always stay prepared and everything. What about training partners? Who are some of the people you get to work with at Factory X? I know there's a ton of fighters who'd be here all day, but just some of the ones maybe you work with a little more than others.
There's a lot of really good girls there that are my size that I haven't gotten to work with in different camps. Training with girls is hard to find, so there's some really good girls there. And then also some of the fighters from LFA, like Sid Weiss and Yusuf, and there's a lot of them. Brandon Roybal. There's a lot of LFA fighters and just smaller people that are good to go with.
Mallory Martin, have you trained with her at all? I know she does a little bit of cross training over there, a former opponent.
I saw her once. I saw her on a Friday at the sparring. I didn't actually get to spar with her or do any rounds with her, but I did get to talk with her, which was cool. But yeah, there's Mallory, there's Brittany, there's Selena, Carmen, like all of those girls. They're all there. So I've gotten to get a lot of work in with all of them, except for Mallory, because I only did one.
I was going to say, speaking of past opponents, I don't know if you saw last night, Itzel Esquivel, who you fought, just won again last night. Is that kind of neat to see, opponents that you beat still thriving and doing quite well? Like the quality of opposition you fought on the regional scene was very strong.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was just talking with my dad about that. Itzel was a very, she's come a long way in where she was, and she has the right mindset as far as like, I feel like we have similar mindsets of, rather than trying to build our I don't know, like the social media side necessarily, and we just really focus on ourselves, and you can see that in her. Like, she's training all the time, she's trying to elevate her training, and she puts her heart into it. So I see that, she's gonna be good. And I was just talking to my dad about that. She's gonna be really good because she works, and she took the losses that she did, and she's come back a lot more than a lot more than a lot of other fighters would.
How's the weight cut going? Always have to ask about that. And are you working with anyone for this camp as well, like you have in previous fights? Yeah,
so the weight cut's going great. And I'm still working with George Lockhart and Ian Larios. There's a B, sorry.
No worries. Look at you having to dodge all these things just to do this interview. I appreciate it. But yeah, I was just asking you. So the cut's going well is basically what you're saying.
Yep, cut's going good, and we're right on track. I'm way leaner than I was last time, which is always good. I was talking to a few of the girls at the gym the other day, and it's crazy how, as a female fighter, your body changes every fight. Like, it's not the same at all, ever. Every fight is different, and every fight you look different. So it's always a changing thing, but it's something that I'm always working on. So yeah.
Who's going to be in the cage with you that night as far as your corner?
So I have Mark Montoya is the head coach. And then I have my dad, obviously. And then I have Izzy Martinez.
Awesome.
Chicago. So I'm super excited, super excited to have him because, I've made a connection out there, and I'm going to be traveling back and forth between Milwaukee, Chicago, and here for camps. So there's a few changes happening, but yeah, it's looking like we may be ending up in Chicago and training with him a lot, and out with Duke Rufus a lot too. So yeah.
Nice to have options. How do you see this fight playing out on November 10th?
Obviously with my hand raised, but we're gonna do some looking in depth. But I plan on finishing it. I wouldn't mind a bonus either. That's another thing. We're gonna finish it in a way that I get a bonus.
You're always looking ahead. I know your mantra is the future world champ. What is next after this? Not looking past your opponent, but I'm sure you have an idea of how many times you want to fight a year and stuff. And I'm sure this is it for 2018. You're looking more towards early 2019.
Yeah, well, I was hoping to be on the ESPN card of the first of the year. So that's the card I would like to be on next. But we'll see. I have to talk with everyone and see where their head's at, but that would be the goal. Plus, especially it's early enough. But we'll see.
What about downtime for this training camp? I know you don't get any. We always talk about this, but are you doing anything like any painting, anything like that, like you've been doing in other training camps?
No, I mean I've I'm living part-time in Denver, so I kind of just focus on recovery. You know, I watch a little bit of TV, watch the Food Network channel, and just hang out at the house since it's just me right now. So a little bit different than last camp when I had, you know, a lot of family time, a lot of downtime like that. But yeah, I'm back and forth from the gym. So I'm at the gym and then I'm back and then I'm at the gym back, and you know, it's a lot of it is just traveling and stuff. So.
Well, Maycee, we're certainly looking forward to your debut. It's coming up here on November 10th. It is UFC Fight Night 139. Always great catching up with you. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I actually changed my Instagram handle, so it was the Future World Champ. Now it's
a little bit easier to find.
Yeah, it's a little easier to find, and it's so that no one else takes my handle. So it's at Maycee Barber. And then sponsors. Method Flow has been my sponsor, one of my main sponsors that just, you know, they really take care of me. They help me get through camps. So they're super awesome, super helpful. And then Grunt Style as well. So Grunt Style is my second main sponsor, I guess you could say. I have a bunch of other sponsors, just like last time. You know, all the people that have supported me are continuing to support me, and it's been super, super amazing, and I'm super thankful for them.